Hey guys, so you're ready for today's June 29, 2021, 10:34 p.m. Central Time. This is a huge story and something to watch, and I'll tell you why. First of all, Democrats claiming GOP, the Republicans, defunded police. Okay? That's adorable, first of all. But the reason this is a huge story, I'll tell you why. The Democrats have the slimmest majority in the House since World War II due to so many other candidates' rhetoric talking about defunding the police. They knew it so much that the day after the election, higher-ranked Democrats got on a conference call and it got leaked, and one of them said, nobody should have been talking about defund the police. That is what caused us to lose. Because the Republicans were supposed to lose seats. They're supposed to lose seats. Democrats were supposed to pick them up. The Republicans picked up 20 some odd seats during that election in 2020. So they recognized this was a problem. Now, the reason this is a big story is because they are very concerned about 2022. So they're taking their worst enemy within their party, defund the police movement, and they're trying to pin it on the GOP instead because they're afraid they're going to lose the House. Okay? The reason I'm pushing this as a big story also are two reasons. One, people have very short attention spans. So if the Democrats are able to spin this accurately long enough and people do not notice what's happening in local areas, such as Oakland, California, they just defunded their police department, okay, with their city council, who is all Democrat, with a 6-2 vote, okay? Unless people pay attention to that, at a local level around the country, they may actually start believing the GOP defunded police, and that could affect GOP candidates. Okay? Number two, Democrats are the best messengers, period. They can take something and spin it so bad, be so factually incorrect, and put it in emotional terms that you can relate to it, okay? And then people believe it because the Democrats they are the loudest voices in the crowd. The Republicans don't know how to message, even now. But they are the loudest voices. People eat up their trash for some reason. And don't question it. Don't look into it. Don't research it. Nothing. So for those two reasons, this is a very important thing to know about, watch, and be careful that you don't get sucked into this wonderful concept that the Democrats are now spinning, that they weren't the ones who defunded the police. It was the GOP. Now, I'm going to show you law, but I'm going to show you what sparked this to begin with and who said it. Biden team's Cedric Richmond blames GOP for defunding the police. He is a Biden senior advisor, okay? He said on Fox News Sunday, this past Sunday, quote, Republicans are very good at staying on talking points of who says defund the police. But the truth is, they defunded the police. Then he goes on to say, let's talk about who defunded the police. When we were in Congress last year trying to pass an emergency relief plan for cities that were cash-strapped and laying off police and firefighters, it was Republicans who objected to it. End quote. Now, what he's referring to is the American Rescue Plan that failed last year, okay? Keeping in mind, I'm going to show you the law. They reintroduced it in 2021, added some ridiculous shit into it, beside the point. Came out February 24, 2021, became law March 11th, 2021. Okay. It was H.R. 1319, American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. He's referring to the American Rescue Plan Act of 2020 that failed. So, the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 passed. These states, and I'm going to show you the law again, I'm reminding you, these states have gotten these funds in the section I'm about to show you. No one, it is June, no one, anyone, no one, even Republican-run states, no one has used the funds from this bill that they claim could go to police departments to fund the police. Okay? So keep that in mind. Because although the American Rescue Plan Act of 2020 failed, it looks as though had it passed, people weren't going to use that money to fund the police anyway. The other people who are pushing this wonderful theory is Representative Jeffries, who is a higher-ranked Democrat in the House. Jen Psaki, the press secretary from her podium, said the same rhetoric, talking about how the GOP voted against the American Rescue Plan Act last year, and that essentially defunded the police. There is no language in the American Rescue Plan Act of 2020 or 2021 that specifically states anything about funding police. Okay? Period. What they are referring to are the funds under should have gone to the first page. One moment, please. It's a lot of money too. It's billions of dollars. It's under subtitle M, Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds. Is where states could have taken this money, which they haven't, and funded their police departments. That is what they're all claiming, okay? Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds is what it's called. If you go to page 223, it says requirements, use of funds. This is what the funds can be for. Subject to paragraph 2 and except as paragraph 3, a state, territory, or tribal government shall only use the funds provided under a payment made under this section or transferred pursuant to section 603C4 to cover costs incurred by the state, territory, or tribal government by December 31st, 2024. A. To respond to public health emergency with respect to the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 or its negative economic impacts, including assistance to households, small businesses, and nonprofits, or aid to impact industries such as tourism, travel, and hospitality. B. To respond to workers performing essential work during COVID-19 public health emergency by providing premium pay to eligible workers of the state, territory, or tribal government that are performing such essential work, or by providing grants to eligible employers that have eligible workers who perform essential work. C. For the provision of the government services to the extent of the reduction in revenue of the state, territory, or tribal government due to COVID-19 public health emergency relative to revenues collected in the most recent full fiscal year of state, territory, tribal government prior to the emergency. Finally, D. To make necessary investments in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. Boy, that's a real large range of bullshit that these billions, which turned into trillions because there's billions that go out to states, okay, really can go into a lot of places, can it? It doesn't say anything specific about police, does it? No. This money was meant to bail out the states. That is why the GOP, the Republicans, voted against this bill as well, because it was a blue state bailout. They were getting billions of dollars to wipe clean their tallies, like Illinois, California, New York, all these people who fucked up their budgets so bad that they were in the red. They got this money and they were able to simply wipe it clean. That's what this was truly, quote, used for. But essentially, that's what the funds were supposed to be used for, what I just read. Okay? So when the Democrats are claiming GOP defunded the police because they voted against the American Rescue Plan last year that didn't pass. They don't say last year, though. They just say American Rescue Plan. That's what's interesting. Because if you, like I said, the American Rescue Plan of 2021 passed. 2020 did not. So it makes it almost confusing for people who didn't pay attention to what happened last year as well. So when they say that, claiming GOP defunded police because they voted against it, it became law anyway in 2021, and no county, city, state, nothing, nobody has used these funds that can be allocated to the police to do so. None of them. Nobody. So had it been passed last year in 2020, what would be different? What would be different that would have caused people to fund the police? I would have to say that is like thought police, like seeing into the future bullshit, trying to figure out if something would happen or not. But I can tell you right now, 2021 American Rescue Plan, nobody used it for funding the police. Nobody. So it doesn't matter whether the GOP voted for it or not is where I'm headed, because it became law and nobody used the funds. And when they voted against last year's, just like they did this year, because of the blue bailout, means nothing. There are no funds, as I just read to you, specifically allocated for police in either 2020 or 2021. So the claim that they're using the American Rescue Plan and GOP votes in the House are crazy. This is the craziest, most blatant, ridiculous spin I've ever heard of. Because everybody knows the Democrats are the ones who want to defund the police. They are on camera. They are on social media. They are still talking on social media. Like Cori Bush from fucking St. Louis, who got into the House, who is obnoxious, who is now part of the squad, runs her mouth constantly and helped St. Louis defund the police, who has a Democrat mayor. So if they want to keep spinning this and have people believe it, they better start making all of their entire party fall in line and stop talking about defunding the police. Otherwise, we might be okay. It might be okay that people have a short attention span, that they're dumb, they don't know what passed, when it passed, what didn't pass, who voted for what, or who's doing what in localities. Because if they keep running their mouths, we're good. But if for some reason they all fall in line and they stop talking about defunding the police and all of a sudden they become law and order bullshit, people will forget what happened. And they will start believing these loudmouthed banshees on the other side of the aisle claiming this ridiculous lie. That's why this is an important story, because it's going to be run over and over again until November 2022. This is a Democrats' Achilles heel. They know it, they hate it, and they want it to go away. This is Are You Ready For It? Take care, guys. Have a great day.